To the weekend, and we've got a great slate of college football, NFL ahead of us. Also, of course, MLB playoffs, the baseball playoffs really get underway. Now that we're past that wild card nonsense, divisional round matchups, we're going to talk about all of it. How to bet it, how to play fantasy around it, DFS lineups, and of course, rant about it, including why did Major League Baseball not take advantage of Friday having no real big college football or NFL matchups and let this day go to waste without baseball being played. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but of course, I want to encourage you guys, no matter the platform, no matter where you're watching, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. We are live every single day. There is not one day of 2023 where Butt Fumble Sports won't be live. So no matter the platform, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, Twitter, make sure you guys follow. Make sure you subscribe. Never miss our show. We are live every single day. And if you ever want to reach out to us, let us know your feedback. Let us know your thoughts. You can always hit us up on our website, buttfumblesports.com. You can contact us there, buttfumblesports.com. Would love to hear from you guys. Again, that's buttfumblesports.com. Our show is sponsored by the SHARPZ app. If you want all of my bets every single day, make sure you download the SHARPZ app, or better yet, DM me on Instagram, buttfumblesports on Instagram, and I'll share all of my bets with you guys every single day. Last night was not our best day when it came to sports betting, but we are already shifting our focus to the weekend, and hopefully we can put together a lot of cashing tickets for all of you guys out there. As always, we use the Outlier app to help us do our research, help us with our analytics and our data. And again, Rival Fantasy has some really good challenges. Rival Fantasy, another sponsor of our show. So if you guys want to get in on Rival Fantasy's challenges, DM me on Instagram as well. Great ways to be able to play along with NFL Week 5 rather, or the NBA, MLB. Lots of different ways you guys can take advantage of all this action. That said, we're going to answer your fantasy football questions across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. Are you guys ready to go? Let's answer some questions. Coop, great to see you. Great to see you. What's good? Hope you're having a great day. Dermont, thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? I think he's going to have a rough matchup against the Titans. He might be worth a play, but I don't love him. Landon Wilson, 23. I lean towards Mixon. Landon Wilson, 23. I lean towards Mixon. Debo's injury and the matchup have me fading Debo just a little bit. Paul Love, what's good? Thoughts on the Dallas defense this week? I'd rather try and find another defense. If you don't have the space on your roster, you can ride with them for the week. But honestly, I'd like to find someone else who has a greater value in terms of points they can deliver. Mr. Lopez, I'd rather have CJ Stroud. Mr. Lopez, I'd rather have CJ Stroud right now. Diego Gonzalez, rest of season. I'm going to lean slightly, believe it or not, towards Pacheco. I just trust that Chiefs offense a little bit more. Yes or no, I give up Madison and Hunter and get Taylor and Waller. Do that deal. Do that deal. Love it. Appreciate you guys being with us. Chris B., Stroud or Cousins to start? Chris B., I'd go with CJ Stroud, I think, just by a little bit. Braden Gray, 27. Should I trade Ayuk and Achane for Chase? I wouldn't. I'd rather have Ayuk and Achane, Braden Gray. I'd rather keep those two players. Thanks so much for your question, Braden Gray. Nick Chubb. Should I accept Amon-Ra St. Brown for Chase? Guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown is injured, will not play this week, most likely will not play this weekend, might impact your decision about making a deal for him. Lethal Jake, since I didn't play Samuel, I'm left deciding who on the bench between Judy, Atwell, and London. I think I lean slightly towards London, just barely. Aaron Jones, Kyron Williams, or Saquon, rest of season, I'd go Aaron Jones, I think. Jeter Leader, good afternoon to you. Hope you're doing well. Ariana, I'd start Joe Burrow. Ariana, I'd start Joe Burrow just barely over Stafford. Saber Glow, I'd go with Christian Kirk. Saber Glow, I'd go Christian Kirk. Thanks so much. Appreciate all of you watching. Make sure you hit that follow button, no matter the platform. Make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. Savio S, what's good? Choose one. Dell, Ridley, Flowers, Addison, or Romeo Dobbs. Savio S. I'm going Zay Flowers. He's the one I like the most out of that group. Zay Flowers. Sox. Trade Madison, Mostert, and McLaurin for Waddle and Akers. Interesting deal. I lean towards yes. I'm not crazy about it because I don't love giving up Mostert, but I think Akers could actually have surprise value for you over the course of the year. Hayden, I gave up AK and Michael Thomas. I'm assuming that's Keenan Allen. Sorry, that's AK, not KA. AK. And Hayden, write out the question. I don't really want to. I love the question, but I don't want to. Yeah. Landon Wilson, Debo, Mixon, Olave, or Pittman in the flex. I'd probably go Mixon 1, Olave 2. Mixon 1, Olave 2. Thanks for the question, Landon Wilson. Clay Bennett, I get Pollard and give up Brian Robinson and Lockett. Good deal. I think it's an okay deal. I'm okay upgrading to that extent, Clay. I get it. Chris Films, trade Lockett for Gibbs. I think for the course of the year, yes. Sounds like Gibbs may not play this weekend. Some worries about his health, so might not be good for this week, but rest of the season, yes. TB, Dolphins defense versus the Giants or Saints against the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going to go Dolphins defense against the Giants, just barely. It's close, though. It's just because the injuries to the Patriots that have me concerned. I don't like if Christian Gonzalez and Matthew Judon were healthy, I would like the Patriots defense more, but not quite there. Parker Bledsoe, that said, I take Ramondre Stevenson. Parker Bledsoe, I lean towards Ramondre Stevenson more because I'm kind of worried about Latavius Murray taking some of the opportunity away from James Cook. Thanks for the question. ADL Montero, I'd go Pacheco. ADL Montero, I'd go Pacheco. Thanks for the question. I'm Dev all right. I would not make that deal. I'm Dev all right. I like Aaron Jones. I wouldn't give him up. I like keeping the two players that you'd be trading. Peyton 12. Saquon's considering the injury. Gibbs considering his injury, or Pacheco. Who do I start? I'd start Pacheco. Peyton 12. I'd start Pacheco. Agon 7. Who would you trade? CD, Sutton, and Stroud for? Herbert and Thielen already have Tyreek. I would not trade CeeDee Lamb right now. I'd keep Lamb, I'd keep Sutton, I'd keep Stroud, I'd keep those three. Damon Tatum, choose three to start. I'd go Achane, I'd go Breece Hall, and I'd go Bijan. Achane, Breece Hall, and Bijan. Those would be the three, Damon Tatum. Junior, great to have you watching the show. Moderators, feel free to pin the tweets of those who contribute to the show. Those that follow, I'm going to answer everybody, but I will also prioritize those that contribute. Like Julio, I'm going to lean slightly. It's tough. I'm going to lean slightly towards Cam Akers, Julio. Not by much, but I'll lean slightly in that direction. Pedro, Moss, and Mostert for Aaron Jones. Yes, I would do that deal. Pedro Cerna, I'd do that deal. DeBears, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lean slightly towards Laporta just by a hair. Not by much, though. Parker Bledsoe. Should I... Parker Bledsoe, you did Ramondre Stevenson or James Cook. So should I do the trade? I get Ramondre. Parker, your typo kind of killed me, but yes, you should. Arias, I'll try to get to 1 or 2. We'll see. Gibbs and Flowers for Cup. Nick Chubb, I'd rather have Gibbs and Flowers rest of season. Keaton, start Collins, Myers, or Ridley. Keaton, I'm going to lean slightly towards Ridley. Keaton, I'll lean slightly towards Ridley, but it's not by much. Austin Robinson traded Sutton, Miles Sanders, and Ramondre for A.J. Brown. I don't think it's a terrible move. You might have given up a little bit too much, but overall, Austin Robinson, I don't hate it. Bailey, should I trade Eckler, Evans, and Addison for J.J. and Montgomery? Yes. Bailey, getting J.J. and Montgomery is the better move. Yep. Arias, I traded Achane and Kirk Cousins for Eckler, but I have Mahomes and AR. Yep, I like the move. Jeter leader, I need 2 for PPR. I'd go Aaron Jones and I'd go Kamara and Aaron Jones. Waffles, I'd go Brees Hall. Waffles, I'd go Brees Hall, believe it or not. The Tex Tejano, choose two. I'd go Waddle and I'd go Olave. Waddle and Olave. Russell, Addison, McLaughlin, Rice, or Tutu at the flex. Russell, I'm going to go Addison just barely. Russell, I'll go Addison over McLaughlin, Rice, and Tutu. Make sure if you haven't done so already, hit that follow button, everybody. We are live every single day at 5 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I should say every single weekday. We're at 5 p.m. Eastern. Every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. So, guys, tomorrow we're live at 10 a.m. for our college football pregame show. Pedro, I think it's a fair deal. Yes, I do. Pedro, I think it's a fair deal. Should I trade Ayuk and Connor for A.J. Brown? I think you might be giving up a little bit too much value. Arias, it's not terrible. I don't know why you'd want Brown and Smith. I don't agree with that at all, so I wouldn't go in that direction. Tommy, half PPR, Keenan Allen and Ford for Saquon and Lamb. Who won? Probably Saquon and Lamb. Maybe just barely. It's pretty close, though. Mason Borghi, 4. Javonte Williams is hurt. Mason Borghi, 4. Javonte Williams is hurt, so it's got to be Cam Akers. Chris B, I'd go Ridley. Just barely over Higbee. Jake, should I trade A.J. Brown, Robinson, and Puka for Christian McCaffrey? I think you're giving up way too much value just because if Christian McCaffrey gets any kind of injury, all of a sudden that deal looks terrible. Vincent, Higbee or Waller, both have favorable matchups against the pass. I'm going to lean slightly towards Higbee because I trust Stafford more than Jones. So Vincent, it's more because I like the quarterback than the tight ends. I'll go Higbee over Waller. Though Waller really should have a good week, but I don't trust him. He was supposed to have a good week last week and it didn't play out that way. 1, 2, 3. I'd rather have Pollard. I'd rather have the running back. Good afternoon. Who should I start if St. Brown doesn't play? I lean slightly towards Addison, just barely over London. Addison over London. Arias Rubio, should I trade Ayuk and James? Oh, we answered that one. Okay. Appreciate you guys watching. Hit that follow button no matter the platform you're watching on. Investigator. Keenan Allen for Mahomes. Currently have Burrow. Then why are you trying to get Mahomes? I think that Burrow should be able to get you through the next few weeks. I think he's going to play better. I'd rather have Keenan Allen right now. Achan or Etienne. If you're going to get Mahomes, give up Burrow. If you're going to get Mahomes, try to find a way to package Burrow, and that way you're either getting more or you're giving up less at the wide receiver position. User 7153. Really close, but I'll go Achan. I'll go Achan over Etienne. I like both of them this week, but I'll take Achan a little bit more. Jacob, bench 1. I would bench Cook. Paul Love, discouraged by Kittle. What are your thoughts? A little bit. I think the problem is less about Kittle and more about just how loaded that offense is. Something I talk to you guys a lot about is you got to be able to eat. And if there are too many mouths to feed in the offense, how is one of these guys going to be able to eat? Tight end is one of those positions that's usually last to the table, last to get their meal. Dallas Goedert's having that problem. George Kittle's having that problem. So when you have all these weapons, tight end is usually prioritized last. It's one of the reasons I just don't value Kittle the same way that I would have. By the way, if Ayuk is hurt or Debo's hurt or if there's injuries to other players, Kittle's value shoots up. We saw that earlier in the year when Ayuk got hurt. But when everybody's healthy, now if Debo's out, maybe his value goes up. But again, you got to monitor that, and that's why it's not straight value for George Kittle. Is Walker and Amon-Ra St. Brown too steep for JJ? I don't think so, Bailey. I don't think it's too steep for him, actually. Tillin, Stevenson versus Brian Robinson Jr. for the rest of the season. Tillin, I've been going back and forth on this one, and I'm going to change on it. I'll go with Stevenson, and here's why. The Commanders' offensive line has so disappointed me over the last 24 hours. It's hard for me to believe in them moving forward. They give up way too many sacks. I thought they were going to be better last night, and they weren't against that Bears front. I think Stevenson has the better offensive line, so I'll stay Stevenson for the rest of the year. Roan Herbert. Brees Hall has a breakout game. Yep, Brees Hall's got a great matchup. I think Zach Wilson's fielding himself in this way. He's more confident to make the throws. I think he might do that a couple times. That should open up the running game. So I do think it's a breakout week for Breece Hall. Brecken, great to see you. Hope you're having a blessed day, Brecken. Trade Mahomes, McCaffrey, and Hill, and Kelsey for Andy Reid. Very funny, Brecken. Very funny. Ryan, bench Puka, Calvin Ridley, or Montgomery. Tough one, Ryan. I might bench Calvin Ridley. He might be the one that ultimately gets to ride the pine. Ryan, Materi, I think I'd bench Calvin Ridley out of that group. User 7153. I'm going to go Derrick Henry. It's very, very close, but I think Derrick Henry has another good week, gets you a touchdown, gets you at least over 50, maybe 70 rushing yards. I think Derrick Henry has a strong week. Fulbright. Trade Ridley and Hunter for Olave. I think you're not getting enough. I think you could probably ask for Olave and a throw-in piece, but if you're not, it's close enough. Cam, start Ayuk or CeeDee Lamb this week. I'm going to start CeeDee Lamb, and here's why. I think that if the Cowboys are going to be competitive in this game, they're going to have to rely on Pollard. They're going to have to rely on CeeDee Lamb. So if nothing else, they're going to get opportunities. Ayuk, I think he's going to have a tough matchup against Stephon Gilmore. If Deebo Samuel is out, that's who the Cowboys will match up against him. I'd be a little bit more on CeeDee Lamb, just barely. Marco. Choose 3. Hall, Gibbs, Etienne, Stevenson, or Garrett, Wilson, or Thielen. Okay, Marco, the 3 I'd go with are Hall, Etienne, and for the moment, I'm going to lean just barely on Stevenson. Not by much. I don't feel great about it. I want to say Garrett Wilson. I want to say Thielen, but I don't have the same conviction. And with Stevenson, I think he'll get enough touches to back it up. So I'll go Hall, Etienne, and Stevenson. If Gibbs were fully healthy, I would include him, but I'm worried about his health status. User, Deebo for Waddle. I think it's a fair trade. I think it's very fair. Another user, Laporta and London for Goddard and Flowers. Very interesting. Man, I wish you could just trade London for Flowers straight up. I'd rather have Laporta and Flowers. Those are the 2 players I want, so I'm kind of split on it. I'd probably go Goddard and Flowers, but it's very, very close. I don't know. It's very close. Andres. I'd go Lions defense. Andres, I think I would go with the Lions defense. Aiden H. I'm going to say A.J. Brown. I think Kyron Williams has a tough matchup against the Eagles front. I'd rather take A.J. Brown. Landon, I'm going to go just barely with Darren Waller. He has the better matchup. I'll go Darren Waller over Jake Ferguson. And again, that's one of those situations where you would think Darren Waller's not going to be last to eat in that Giants offense. It's what made Monday night so surprising. Lethal Jake, would you play London over Pickens? No, I think I'd play Pickens as long as Kenny Pickett's healthy. Mason, pick 1. I'd go Tutu Atwell. Mason, I'd go Tutu Atwell over Zach Moss. I really don't like Zach Moss this week. Between Jonathan Taylor coming back and a good Titans run defense, I don't think Zach Moss has a lot of value this week. Mason, Javante's hurt. Dante, should I trade more while he is high value? I don't know why you would. The answer is you absolutely could, and you could get a great return. But we also just learned, and by the way, the Bears more importantly just learned, that when you target DJ Moore, he's going to be a phenomenal wide receiver for you. We were saying in the early weeks of the season, why are they only throwing to him twice in a game? Why are they only throwing to him a couple times in a game? That shit's done. That's over now. I think the Bears are going to throw to him enough times every game to make it worth your while to retain him and keep him. If you want to trade him, I get it. The Bears are going into their bye week, so you're actually getting really good value because you're trading him right before a week in which he has no value. But that said, I wouldn't give up on him too much. Wyatt just subscribed! Wyatt, thanks so much for subscribing, Wyatt. If you don't know, I love that name, Wyatt. I know someone who has that same one. Anyways, appreciate you being with us, Wyatt. Welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports community. Great to have you as a butt fumbler. Liam Weiss, is it safe to start Cooper Kupp and Puka? Yes. Should I put Waddle in for 1? Yes. So Kupp and Puka both have great matchups. I'd still start Waddle over Puka, I think. I think I'd start Kupp and Waddle. It's very, very close, though. It's very, very close. Dimitri Demolis, Kyron for James Cook. I'd rather have Kyron Williams. Arias, trade DJ Moore for Josh Jacobs. No. Example of DJ Moore is showing you his value. Josh Jacobs is still not. I wouldn't do that deal. Lethal Jake, Keenan Allen for Lamb and Connor. Yes, Lethal Jake, I actually love that trade. Lamb and James Conner, you're definitely getting the better side of that one, Lethal Jake. Jeremy Smith, Eckler, Evans for Kupp, Garrett Wilson, and the Bills defense. Jeremy Smith, I like the trade actually. Kupp, Wilson, and Bills defense, I like that trade. Keep in mind, Von Miller's coming back. The Bills defense is only going to get better. Austin, trade Mark Andrews for Breece Hall and Waller. It's close. Austin, I still like Mark Andrews a lot. I'm not as quick to move him. I think Breece Hall and Waller, their value is very shaky. Mark Andrews' value is locked in week to week. So Austin, I wouldn't make that trade because I'd rather have the value that's just locked in permanent in Mark Andrews instead of playing the bite your fingernails game with Breece Hall and Waller week to week. Massimo Kuda 10. Waller and Ertz should both have great weeks, but I'm going to go with Zach Ertz. I just trust him a little bit more. I frankly trust Josh Dobbs more than I trust Danny Jones. So that said, I like Ertz a little bit more, but both players should have good weeks, favorable matchups for them. Sam Cheesy 37Z, Pittman, Olave, Nico this week. Pick 2. Okay, if I'm picking 2, Pittman's one of my favorite wide receiver this week. Love Michael Pittman. I'm going to go with Olave. Nico Collins has a tough matchup against A.J. Terrell, so I'm going to go with Pittman and Olave this week. Those would be the 2 Sam Cheesy 37Z. I would also lean towards, believe it or not, I'd lean towards Romeo Dobbs. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you're a member of this amazing community. We are live every single day. Every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have pregame shows this weekend. You never want to miss our advice, the conversation, us ranting about sports. So make sure you hit that follow button today if you have not done so already. What's your best, worst drafted player from my team so far? Well, I mean, it's hard to, you could say injuries. Like, Nick Chubb was, my worst drafted player because I valued him so much, and obviously he got hurt. Honestly, Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler hasn't proven any value, but if I had to say, worst player in terms of actually being on the field, Kyle frickin' Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts is the most disappointing player in football. Paul Love, you know I go off on Kyle Pitts frequently. How can someone who can be that talented, that capable, and open, he is open at times, and he doesn't get the ball? Why is the play calling not designed so that Kyle Pitts gets involved in the Falcons' offense? How is John Smith, a throwaway piece with the New England Patriots, outproducing Kyle Pitts over the last few weeks? There is no player in fantasy, given his talent and the opportunity he should have to score points, who is more disappointing than Kyle Pitts. Dalvin Cook, who has been a steaming pile of dog poop on your porch in the summertime, has been a better, in some ways, expectation to reality play than Kyle Pitts. There is nobody I've drafted who has been more frustrating, hair-pulling, nauseatingly, barely able to handle him bad is Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts is the one. And by the way, that's a tight end. So no, my teams are doing very well. I haven't totally blown things up. I've been, as you guys can tell with my advice, we do pretty well over here at Butt Fumble Sports. Thank you, IP Shade 45. But Kyle Pitts, I thought this was the year. This was the year he'd magically, finally put it together. The Atlanta Falcons refused to allow that to happen. Anyways, just went on a tirade because Paul Love got me going. Liz, Collins or Thielen? Liz, I'm going to lean slightly towards Thielen, believe it or not. Liz, I'm going to go with Thielen over Collins, more because the stats, projections, and the matchup favor it. Tank Dell or Christian Watson? I'd go Christian Watson. I go Christian Watson over Tank Dell. Thanks so much for the question. Nathan Truong, who to trade for Achan? Thanks, Paul Love. Appreciate it. You know I'm spitting hot fire with that, Mike. Achan, I would, if you're trading for Achan, I try to give up only one of those wide receivers. Probably the one I try to give up is probably Pittman. Yeah, he's been playing phenomenally well, though. I like all 4 of those wide receivers, to be honest. Flappo 328, need to start 2. I'd start Zay Flowers and Romeo Doubs. Zay Flowers and Romeo Doubs. Mason Daher, I'd go Tutu Atwell, believe it or not. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Dave, pick 3. Okay, Dave, let's do it. By the way, Jimmy G has clear protocol. Jimmy G will be playing this weekend. Or this Monday night, rather. Dave, pick 3. I would go Jacobs. I would go Brees. Oh, man. You've got 4 running backs who have good matchups this weekend. Dave, I'd go Jacobs, Hall, and Mixon. Dave, I'd go Jacobs, Hall, and Mixon. I'd sit Etienne. He'd be the one I'd sit. Cole, Kinney, Leonhard. I'd go Sky Moore. This week, just barely over Rashee Rice. It's a tough question, though. Arctic Tiger. Great to see you, Arctic Tiger. Diggs or Ridley for single-game draft picks? Diggs. Josh Pippen. Watson and Kirk for Waddle. Which Kirk? Christian Kirk? I'd still probably rather have Waddle, but it's very close. Nick Ireland. Everybody out there, pay attention right now. Jamison Williams has had great value added to him over the last 24 hours. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like he will not play this weekend. Jamison Williams, guys, if you could get him on the waiver wire, if you already have him and you were thinking about putting him in there, guys, Jamison Williams has real value, everybody. Jamison Williams has real value. Mason Daher, Nico Collins, Tutu Atwell. Mason Daher, I go Nico Collins out of that group, just barely over Atwell. Luperio, start 2. I'd go with Olave and Kamara. I don't really love going double on that same team, but Sammy Cameron, drop Sanders, Jay Williams, or for Gus Edwards. Is that Javonte Williams? I think I dropped Javonte Williams. Arias, Gibbs, or James Conner. This week, Arias Rubio, you got to go James Conner this week. James Conner, great matchup this week. Jacob McCabe, start 3. I'd start Brees Hall. I'd start Ridley, and I'd start Saquon if he's healthy. Jacob, it'd be Brees Hall, Saquon, and Ridley. Those would be the 3. Andrews and Kamara for Kelsey and Mixon. I do that deal because I so like Kelsey. Should I start Lawrence or Purdy? Ooh, brutally tough question. I gotta check something really quick. Yeah, that's what I was afraid. It's got to be Trevor Lawrence. Luke Miller, I'd go Trevor Lawrence, but it's very close. Luke Miller, I'd go Trevor Lawrence. Thanks so much for sharing the channel, guys. Eddie, start 2. I'd start Achan and Brees Hall. Eddie, I'd start Achan and Brees Hall over James Cook and Saquon. Thanks for the question. Angelo 84, Puka, Cup, Dell, Wilson, Sutton, Reynolds. Start 3, please. The 3 I would start: Puka, Cup, and I'd start Reynolds now with Amon-Ra St. Brown out. It's very close, but I think I'd start Reynolds. It's very close, though. Twitch, do I trade DK for DJ Moore and Adam Thielen? Yes, I would. Twitch, I would do that trade. Mark, Dylan, or Edwards, or Warren. Pick one. I'd go Edwards this week. Gus Edwards has a good matchup this week, Mark. Alex Lopez, which wide receiver would I trade for? I'd offer Mostert and Sutton. Maybe like a Devontae Smith. Maybe you could get something there. Brent, so all the Lions players questionable now? Brent, isn't it starting to look that way? Just a bad injury report for Detroit. Dallas Ogburn, man, thank God Sam Howell and Logan Thomas got good points. Dallas Ogburn, you're telling me. I had Sam Howell as my substitute quarterback for a number of leagues in which I had Herbert or Deshaun Watson in their bye week. Arias Rubio, I would start Pittman. I'd start Pittman over Ayuk. I don't think Ayuk's as good a play. No, not this week. Jason 21 Smith, would you do Swift and Puka for Amari Cooper and Etienne? I'd rather have Swift and Puka. Jason 21 Smith, Forgive me. I think I'd rather have Swift and Puka. Here's the one problem with drinking soda during a live show. You get a little burpy. A little burpy. El Pollo, 33. Full PPR, assuming Javonte Williams is out, which he will be. Gabe Davis. El Pollo, 33. Gabe Davis. Arias Rubio. Man, dude, Sam Howell went off in the second half. By the way, it actually, I thought, was a bit of an indictment on Eric Bieniemy. If he had just called a better first quarter, I feel like that would have been a better game. I know the turnovers obviously hurt them as well. You lose the turnover battle, you're bound to lose. But I wish he had pushed on the gas a little bit earlier in that game. I just felt like the Bears got way too early a big lead. Otherwise, Commanders could have easily come back. Garrett 3-time. I'll go Josh Reynolds. Garrett 3-time. I'll go Josh Reynolds just barely. Joe Fink 79. Really tough question. I like Breece Hall. I like Mixon. Both are great plays for me this week. I'd go Breece Hall just barely. It's very, very close. But I'll go Breece Hall just barely. Thanks so much for the question. If I haven't said it, this is the best community of sports fans in the world. Hope you guys are a follower. Hope you guys are with us every day because I love talking sports with you guys. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you're a member of this amazing community of sports fans, the Butt Fumble Sports team every day. We're live. Brody Davis, I'd go Gus Edwards. Brody Davis, I'd go Gus Edwards over McLaughlin. Joel, I'd go with Waddle over Garrett Wilson. I'd go Waddle over Garrett Wilson. I dab daily. Collins and Amon-Ra St. Brown for Diggs in a PPR. I think you're giving up a little bit too much value. I think that Diggs is great. I love Diggs. I think it's close, but if you really push for it, you'll get it. But you're giving up more in that deal than you're getting back. Just know that. Leo Castro, Mostert, Cook, or Watson for one flex spot. Leo Castro, it's Raheem Mostert. Leo Castro, Raheem Mostert. Thanks so much for the question, Leo. Owen Pham, Breece Hall, Monty, Nico Collins, pick 2. Owen Pham, easy one for me. Breece Hall, David Montgomery, great matchups for the two of them. Parker Bledsoe, would you do this trade? Montgomery for Jonathan Taylor? Nope, I wouldn't. Montgomery has proven his value. I wouldn't give up on him now. Colin Latimer, start Hollywood Brown. Colin Latimer, normally I would fade Hollywood Brown. This week against the Bengals, he's got a good matchup. I'd take him this week. Arias, start Duggs. If he scored kicking him. Arias, I lost track of your question. Garrett 3-time, I'd go Michael Wilson. Garrett 3-time, I'd go Michael Wilson. Owen Pham, I think Fields' rest of season value is increasing, but I'm not getting on the hype train just yet. Mincy, Breece Hall or Madison? No-brainer this week, Mincy. It's Breece Hall. Breece Hall's the better play, Mincy. Thanks so much for your question. Andrew Bruno, Henry for Chase. I do the deal because I'd rather have Chase than Henry. I think Henry could have a good week this week, but over the course of the rest of the season, I think Chase will be the better play. Should I trade Mostert for Amari Cooper and Jaylen Warren? It's a really interesting idea. I don't think so, but Jaylen Warren's now getting a majority of the touches in the backfield for the Steelers, so it has more value than you'd think. I think I still like Mostert a little bit more. Odd chance putting a dent into that, but I still take Mostert. I think it's very close, though, Kale. If, Kale, you have weakness on the bench, or if you could use the extra wide receiver, I would pull the trigger because I actually think it's a good deal, but I like Mostert a little bit too much to give him up right now. Josh asks, start 2. Josh asks me to start 2. Flowers, Olave, or Romeo Doubs in a PPR league. Really tricky here. The PPR league is actually the tricky part because I like Romeo Doubs, but I don't like him in a PPR league. Love Zay Flowers, really like Chris Olave. Both are high volume target plays. So in a PPR league, Josh, you got to go Zay Flowers and Olave, Josh. Thanks for the question. Vince Motley Crue, I'm going to lean slightly for the first time this year towards DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas. Hopkins can have a really good week, guys. DeAndre Hopkins, you know I have been kicking him down. I've been saying he doesn't have a lot of value. This week he does. DeAndre Hopkins has good value this week. So, Vince Motley crew, I'd go Hopkins. I don't like Judy this week. Bad matchup against the Jets. But I like Michael Thomas against a Patriots team that has some issues in that secondary. I want to trade my roster. But my roster is Mahomes, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Olave, Puka, Andrews, and more. Saucy, then why do you want to make a trade? Just for the sake of it? That's like being on the Oregon Trail and just hunting buffalo even though your wagon's full. There's a gluttonousness to that. Josh Bonino, I'd go Jordan Love. This week. Arias Rubio, I like Devontae Smith a little bit more. It's very close, but I like Devontae Smith a little bit more. Vince Ochoa, I'd go Gus Edwards. It's so close for me, but I'll go Gus Edwards this week. Good matchup, Vince Ochoa. Thanks so much for hitting that follow button, guys. If you haven't done so yet, hit the follow button. Become a member of this Butt Fumble Sports community. We are live every day. There is not one day of 2023 that I won't be live. We're live every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you have not done so already, hit that follow button, everybody. That way you never miss our show. We're live every day. Let's get back to answering your fantasy questions. Tate, start a wide receiver and a flex. Tate, I would go Christian Watson. And I'd like to get Deebo Samuel if he's healthy. If he's not, I'm okay switching it to Garrett Wilson. But I wish Deebo were healthy for you, Tate. Michael, what's up? Love the content. Thanks so much, Michael. Really appreciate the comment. Should I trade Diggs and Kirk for Kelsey and Flowers? Ooh, great question. I like it because the tight end position is one of those where you're kind of picking amongst the lesser unless you have Kelsey. I really like Flowers personally, so Flowers and Kirk I think have similar values. Some week Kirk will outscore him, but I think Flowers, especially in a PPR, is worth it. Between Kelsey and Diggs, it's very, very close. Just depends if you have some extra depth at the wide receiver position. So, Michael, I like the trade, but I'm a little on. It's very fair. I'll put it that way. It's very fair. Sammy Cameron, start 2 and drop 1. I'd start Joe Mixon. I would start Gus Edwards. I would drop Javonte Williams because of the injury. Or I drop Moss. Actually. Pip 1510. Trade JJ and Cook for Diggs, Puka, and Montgomery. Yes, I would, Pip 15. Lethal Jake, would you pick up anyone like Rashee Rice or Reed over Judy and Atwell? Lethal Jake, yes, I'd pick up both of those guys before Judy and Atwell. Mr. Lopez, should I trade Jerome Ford for Adam Thielen for my flex? I'd rather have Jerome Ford. Thielen might have the better week, obviously, this week with Ford on the bye, but I'm not as crazy about it. I wouldn't do it. Amon-Ra St. Brown is doubtful, guys. Be mindful. Amon-Ra St. Brown is doubtful, so it shifts the value of players on the Detroit Lions. The free gum. Deebo Samuel if he's healthy. Otherwise, your decision's made up for you with Rashee Rice. Let's get back to TikTok answering some questions. Blank, should I trade JT for Ford and Waddle? I would. I actually like the return you're getting. Luis Angel Cis, I'd go Hollywood Brown this week. May seem counterintuitive. Great matchup this week. I'd go Hollywood Brown. Kyle, pick 2. Puka, Kupp, Kirk. Crazy as it sounds, Kyle, I'd go Puka and Cooper Kupp. I'd double down on the Rams passing game. G-O-U, Kirk and Rice. I'd go Kirk. I'd go Christian Kirk over Rice. Lemon, should I trade Godwin for Puka? I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of fair. I think Godwin might have a little bit more value. A little bit more because of the division he's in, but it's close. Luke Miller, I have Hill and Waddle. Should I trade Waddle after this week? I don't see why. I think Waddle still has value after this week. Vince Ochoa, I said Gus Edwards. Vince Ochoa, I lean Gus Edwards just barely. Aria, Sam Laporta going to eat this week with Amon-Ra St. Brown out. Panthers have a good pass defense, so yes, I think Laporta plays well, but I'm also not going to project too much for him. Could be a little tricky. The free gum, should I trade T. Higgins for Puka? Yes. The free gum, make that deal. Lemon, appreciate you saying that. We try to bring our A game every day for you, Butt Fumble sports fans. Lemon, Hope you subscribe. Hope you hit the follow button. Can't wait to see you every day we have a show. T-Wayne010. Should I trade Barkley for Pacheco? I actually like it. A lot of people won't like it. I like Pacheco more, and here's the reason why. 1, he's a good runner who seems to stay healthy. 2, the Chiefs' offensive line is much better than the Giants' offensive line. And 3, even in games where Pacheco doesn't have a great game between the 20s, because of the Chiefs' offense, he gets in the red zone a lot with opportunities for touchdowns. Maybe by giving up Barkley, ask for Pacheco plus another piece just to get a little bit of extra value since you're giving up the brand name. But in terms of fantasy production, I actually think I like Pacheco more than Barkley, even though that doesn't sound right. I think on paper it actually is, especially from this point of the season on. Arias Rubio, Stevenson won't do much against the Saints. We'll see. Zay Flowers and Pacheco, I like both of them, Arias. I like both of them. Arias, I love Aaron Jones. Love Aaron Jones this week, Arias. Sal Solano, I'd go with Gus Edwards. Sal Solano, I'd go with Gus Edwards. Trade Kyron and Sutton for Pollard and Ridley. SMN, yes. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Start Watson or Olave. I would start Watson just barely. Here's the thing that actually kind of has me on the fence. I think Olave might be the better PPR play, barely. I think Watson might get the better production. DP2K, which running back can I get for Waller, Higgins, and DJ Moore? Well, DJ Moore's night last night certainly helps you out. You package all three together, I'd be interested to know what you could honestly get. I don't know. Probably not as good as you think. I think you're closer to a DeAndre Swift than you are to a Tony Pollard. Liam Sweeney, Thielen or Sutton in the flex. Thielen is right. Liam Sweeney, Thielen is the right play. You got that one right. Elias, great to see you. It's great to see so many of you guys becoming loyal viewers. I can see so many of the handles just becoming consistent. It's awesome to know we have that kind of support here. I traded Madison and Tank Dell for CeeDee Lamb. I like the trade. I don't like Madison. I don't think he's got a lot of value. So really, trading Tank Dell and a pair of used socks for CeeDee Lamb, love that trade. Caden, I'd go Montgomery. Over Pacheco for this week. Montgomery's got the good matchup. And Jahmyr Gibbs, questionable for the week. Dean Suter, Joe Mixon. If you're going to have Joe Mixon and play him, this is one of those weeks. I really like Olave, but I love Mixon. Dean Suter, I'd go Joe Mixon. Manu, Pacheco or Waddle? Really, really close for me. I'll lean towards Waddle. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll lean towards Waddle, Manu. Arias, thoughts on Trevor Lawrence down the line? Just picked him up. I'm not as crazy about him this week, but I think Trevor Lawrence is building towards better production as we get farther into October and into November. I think Trevor Lawrence's best games, especially from a fantasy standpoint, are ahead of him. Pip 1510, trade Olave for Wilson and Thielen. No. Pip 1510, don't do that deal. Darren Caleb, I'd rather have Pacheco. Good call. William McLean, thank you so much for the kind words. If you guys love the content, make sure you hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, and hit that follow button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you hit that follow button. We are live every single day. So if you love the content, you know the best way to say thank you, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and let your friends know about us. So if you love the conversation, if we've helped you out with a bet, if we've helped you out with fantasy advice, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and go tell your friends that there's someone who's crazy enough to give out great sports betting information every week. Triz Sav, I'd go Ridley. Luis, McCaffrey, Connor, and Lamb for Ayuk, Jacobs, and A.J. Brown. Luis, I'd rather have McCaffrey, Connor, and Lamb, and it's not close. Luis, McCaffrey, Connor, and Lamb is the better side of that deal. Aiden Clark, I'd rather have Achane and Collins. Aiden Clark, that's a good brand name for two good pieces. I like the deal. It's very fair. Chris, I've got Tutu, Atwell, Puka, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae, Zay Flowers. Which two should I start? Chris, I'd go with Puka and Zay Flowers. Puka and Zay Flowers would actually be the two for me. Arias, just put Chubb on it so I can get him with a ring. Arias, I love it, man. I love it. What are your thoughts on Rashee Rice long term? He is gaining value. He's gaining value because he is becoming the new trusted receiver. Every year, you feel like the Chiefs are always kind of giving opportunity to guys that are under the radar to see if they can elevate themselves. Rashee Rice is starting to make that climb. I like him. He's someone I'd stash on my bench. I may not start him, but I definitely want to own him. Pip 1510. I would start Pip 1510. I would start Kirk and I'd start Shaheed. Kirk and Shaheed, believe it or not. Who do you like more this week, Rice or Reed? Lethal Jake, I think I like Rice more. It's so close. I think I like Rice more, but I'm on the fence. Rudy G, trade away Olave and Madison for A.J. Brown and Mostert. Rudy G, yes, yes, yes. Great trade. Trading away Olave and Madison and getting back Brown and Mostert. Love that deal, Rudy G. Thanks for joining us, man. The King, 77. Thoughts on Pacheco? I like him. I don't love him this week. He's not one of my favorite running backs, but I like him a lot. I think he's a good play. I think he's going to get you good production. So I definitely have him in my lineup. V Loans. Kamara or JT in a PPR? It's got to be Kamara. JT is a brutal matchup. Obviously, he's coming back, so we don't quite know what we're getting to begin with. But tough matchup against Titans, defensive front. So I don't like Jonathan Taylor this week. Pacheco or Rashee Rice? Pacheco. I like Rashee Rice. I think he could have a moment. Pacheco's definitely the better play. Parker Bledsoe. Would you do this trade? Montgomery for JT? No. Parker Bledsoe, I'd rather have Montgomery. T on YouTube traded Sanders, London, and Sutton for White and Watson. Thoughts on the deal? I think Watson's probably the best player in it, but I don't really like any of them. What are your thoughts on Zay Jones long term? Not a lot of value. Debo or Breece Hall? HT Cool. Breece Hall. HT Cool. It's got to be Breece Hall. Brett, should I play Saquon? I'm not crazy about it. If you don't have a lot of options, you might be forced into it. But frankly, I'm not as crazy about it. I think that it's a better matchup against the Dolphins than it could be at some other teams. But I'm not as crazy about it. Tommy Barbeta. Would you trade away Madison for Breece Hall? Yes. Do it right now so you can get Breece Hall in your lineup for Sunday. You want Breece Hall for this week. This is a week to own him, guys. Ant-Can 11. I'd go Pittman and Puka. Ant-Can 11, I'd go Pittman and Puka. I like Debo, but the injury is getting me a little bit worried. Owen gets no puss. Do I trade Puka and Waller for Devontae Smith? Interesting idea. I don't know if I'm crazy about it, but you're certainly getting a good player. I think it's a good trade. I'd go through with it. Eckler and Ayuk for McCaffrey. Ooh, Juju. I think I'd do it. I would go through with it because I'd rather have McCaffrey. Great question. Can you do a Vikings-Chiefs poll, please? Moderators, if you could, we've got a question. Terrible handle for us to call you out, though. Let's do that question, though. Vikings or Chiefs? By the way, I love the over in that game. One of our moderators, could we make Vikings and Chiefs the next poll question that we do? I'd love to know what people think. Dame, thoughts on Puka? Like his value this week, Dame. I like Puka's value this week. Lucas, Achan, James Cook. Thanks so much, Brecken. Lucas, Achan, James Cook, or Pacheco. Rank these three. Lucas, I'd go Achan 1, Pacheco 2, and then I'd put James Cook number 3. So Achan, Pacheco, James Cook number 3. Thanks so much for the question, Lucas. Colby Yarbrough, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Bark for Adams. Colby, I would do the deal. Adams, White, and Pacheco, I would do it. What do you make of this Amon-Ra St. Brown injury? Big issue or being cautious? I think it's a bit of both. I'm a little bit more worried about it because I thought that he was going to progress over the week, and the fact that he's actually going in the wrong direction makes me a little worried. I also do think that the Lions are checking their opponent. If this was a big game, I think they might be a little bit more aggressive, but because of who the opponent is, and they're getting Jameson Williams back, that's a big part of this. If Jameson Williams wasn't coming back, I think there could be reason to believe this could play out differently, but I do think that Dan Campbell understands right now the Lions are positioned perfectly. Don't screw up your season by losing Amon-Ra St. Brown long term. So I think there is a level of being smart there. P. Asha, I'd go Ingram. P. Asha, I'd go Ingram. And Can 111, would Pittman be a better start than Nico Collins? Yes, yes, yes. And Can 111, you want Pittman this week. He's a great start. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that follow button. Make sure you're a member of this community. We are growing. We're getting closer every day to 60,000 followers on TikTok alone. 65,000 followers already across all of our platforms. So make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're with us every day. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you guys are with us. That way you never miss our show. Every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. So yes, tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., we will be talking some college football and giving you all of our picks, as well as obviously helping you out with fantasy football in the NFL. But I'd go with Josh Allen. But I'm switching up and going Josh Allen. Travis, do I trade Gibbs and Tutu for Mike Evans? Travis, I'd rather have Gibbs. I think I understand what you're doing, and if you're just trying to upgrade a wide receiver, I get it. But I think Gibbs still has value moving forward. Brandon to 559. Oh, I missed your question. Alessandro, I'm trading Kupp, Etienne, and Dobbs for Stroud, Gibbs, and A.J. Brown. Worth it? I'd rather have Kupp, Etienne, and Dobbs, I think. It's close, but I think that's who I'd rather have. Optify Ben. Should I trade Kelsey away for Waddle and Dalvin Cook when I have Tyreek and Christian McCaffrey? Why would you trade away Kelsey? No, I'd rather have Kelsey. You're getting no value in Dalvin Cook. Sheesh, please answer. Olave for Nico and Achan. I have Jahmyr Gibbs. I'd rather have Nico Collins and Achan. Fireface Ginger, what's your take on Breece Hall this week? I love Breece Hall this week. This might be my favorite week for Breece Hall of the entire season. Before now, going forward, this is a week. If you own Breece Hall and you're not playing him this week, why own him? Why have him? This is the week Breece Hall finally put some points on the board for you. Marshall Green, I'm going to lean slightly towards Christian Watson. It's very close, Marshall, but I'll lean towards Christian Watson barely. Jets, Tua, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson for Debo and Pollard. I'd take the Debo and Pollard side. Jets, I would take the Debo and Pollard side. Arias Rubio, thoughts on Etienne this week? I do like Etienne. I like him more than I like Saquon, so I'd rather have Etienne in there. The free gum. Trading away Kelsey. I wouldn't trade away Kelsey. If you are, you better get a top-end wide receiver or running back. Sal Solano, Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is the play this week over Cortland Sutton. I think Jameson Williams could pop. Should I trade Burrow and Mostert for Swift and Dobbs? No, I'd rather have Burrow and Mostert. T. Scriff, I'd rather have Burrow and Mostert. Matt, Mostert, Kamara, or Aaron Jones? Great question. Matt, I'm going to lean towards Aaron Jones. I'm not crazy about it. I really like Mostert, but between Mostert and Aaron Jones, my concern is Achan. I think Achan just gets enough production to eat into Mostert a little bit too much. So I'm going to go with Aaron Jones for now, Matt. Matt, I'll go Aaron Jones. Drew Haywood 11. I'll go CJ Stroud. Brendan, to 559. Lazard, Tooney, or Bourne this week. I'm gonna go Bourne. Sorry. Misspoke. Brandon to 559. I misspoke. I'd go Kadarius Toney. Toney over Lazard and Bourne. Toney's going to have a good week this week. He just needs to secure those catches. Lethal Jake just picked up Rice. Let's go. I love it. Love seeing it. Are there any good defenses to start this week? Good question. In terms of defenses, we would have thought the Washington Commanders could have been a good defense. Not so much, as it turns out. I think the Ravens defense has value. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints defense actually plays better than people think. I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense could actually have a good week. Those are kind of the ones out there that I'm a little wary of. Tony is a free agent too. I could pick him up. I think Tony might be a better play than Rice actually, but it's very close. What tight end to trade for Puka? I mean, I'd ask for Laporta. And I'd push the issue. Am I stupid to start the Bills defense this week? No. Arias Rubio, I don't think so. Ryan Smith, 23. I'll go Christian Kirk, just barely. I like Pierce, but I'll go Christian Kirk. Ryan Smith, 23. It's close, though. Mark Dweck. I'd go Dobbs. Over Zach Wilson. Christian Silva. I don't like Jerry Jeudy this week. No. I don't like Jerry Jeudy this week. Not in the flex. Teddy Cook. I'd go Waddle. I'd go Waddle over Collins. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this show every single day. We are live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. That way you never miss our show. Make sure you're a member of this great growing community of sports fans. Sal D, Breece Hall, Nico Collins this week. Sal D, I'd go Breece Hall. By the way, guys, if you're looking for other ways to get in on some of the action for this week, go check out Rival Fantasy. Rival Fantasy has a challenges game. If you guys have never played challenges before, it's a way where you guys can go player versus player. So like Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen, which player is going to score more fantasy points? You can literally pick. You can make a bet. So if you download the Rival Fantasy app, a number of different games you can play. NFL, NBA, MLB. There are a lot of ways you guys can cash in. If you guys play, there are prizes along with it, cash prizes. So DM me on Instagram, Butt Sports on Instagram, if you want to participate in those Rival Fantasy Challenges games, or just download Rival Fantasy. You can play the game, play the challenges game. There's also Fantasy Bingo, pretty cool as well. Appreciate you guys being with us every single day. Let's get back to your fantasy questions. Luis, I'd rather have Pollard. Jameson, Williams, or Thielen? Thielen's probably actually the better play, Mark. It's close. I like Jameson to pop. Thielen's probably the safer play. What about Puka for Kittle? I don't like it. I don't think Kittle has the kind of upside that Puka has, Seraphin 92. Chris Simmons, 468. Andrews, Ayuk for Ferguson, Kyron Williams. I'd rather have Andrews and Ayuk. Brent, so I'm against this guy this week that has Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and the Broncos defense. Isn't this dumb or smart? I think it's moronic, but if he thinks the Jets defense is going to just give up a ton of points, fine. But I think it's a terrible play, in part because unless you are guaranteed to get a ton of points, you're actually cannibalizing the overall production you could get. So Brent, I think it's one of the dumbest things I've seen. It's awful. Breaking news. David Bakhtiari is out for the year. David Bakhtiari, the left tackle of the Green Bay Packers, is done for the season. That news just came in, everybody. Ron Ruiz. I'd go with Chase. I'd rather have Chase than Achane. Iker. I'd go with Christian Watson this week. I'd go Christian Watson over Myers and Higgins. Thanks for the question. Appreciate you watching. Todd Fisher, I'd go Aaron Jones. Tyler Ola, what's good? Tyler Ola, I really want to say Gibbs. He's the best play, but he's hurt, so I can't go with him. He's going to be limited at best. So I'll say Cam Akers. No, I don't like him either. I'll say London, but I'm not crazy about it. Arias, Diamondbacks or Dodgers in the NLDS. I have not done my research just yet necessarily for that game. I was kind of waiting to see if I could get a little bit of extra data. I'm going to lean slightly towards the Dodgers, just kind of an obvious play. But I've got to dive into that tonight. We're doing our research because we're putting together. I haven't heard who the Diamondbacks starter is yet. So, should I find a trade for Zach Moss? Yep, get rid of Zach Moss, everybody. Guys, Zach Moss's value has plummeted, so move on from him. He doesn't have good value this week. And obviously, Jonathan Taylor back. tough to get a lot of value from him moving forward. Austin, I'd go Achan over Kyron Williams. Austin, I'd go Achan over Kyron Williams. Jay Sincord 7, I'd go Mostert. Jay Sincord 7, I'd go Mostert. Pittman's going to have a great week. Tyler Ola, Pittman's going to have a good week for you. Am Yoshi, I'd go Richardson. Am Yoshi, I'd go Richardson. Bot, thanks so much for supporting the show, buddy. Really appreciate you hitting those flowers. Miles, I'd go Jalen Warren. I'm a little worried about Gibbs' health, so I'd go Jalen Warren. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show the way that you guys do. We just hit our live goal so fast. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys for supporting the show. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button, everybody. Make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. Peter Pan 2020. I'm going to lean just slightly towards, wow, it's tough. I kind of want to go Rashee Rice. Believe it or not, I want to go Rashee Rice. Peter Pan 2020. I go Rashee Rice over Woods and Alan Lazard. 2-8 crazy. I go Christian Kirk. 2-8 crazy. I go Christian Kirk. Thanks so much, guys, for helping me with my live goal. Appreciate you guys supporting the show. Luis, Lamb, Cooper, or Olave. This week, I go Olave. Gage B. I have Mahomes and Richardson. Should I trade Mahomes to get better running backs? I think I trade Richardson to get better running backs, but since Richardson has the higher value, but Mahomes is probably the safer play throughout the season, so I do think trading one of them to get running backs is a good idea. T. Tomes JN, Puka for Taylor. I kind of like Puka. I get it. If you need the running back upgrade, I get it, but I don't know. Not this week, at least. Darian, Adams, or Waddle this week. I would go Waddle. I trust Jair Alexander is going to be healthy. He'll lock up Adams. I know Adams is going to have a good day going up against the Packers, but I'll trust Waddle a little bit more. Arias Rubio, I'll take the Dolphins defense. Priceless Pigeon, I'd go Higbee. Priceless Pigeon, I'd go Higbee, and I'd go Mostert. Higbee and Mostert. Lethal Jake, Adams is my wide receiver 1 this week, but he missed today. I hope he plays. Yeah, I'm a little concerned, but given it's against the Packers, you know he wants to be on the field against them. Manolo Perez Gordon, should I trade Ridley for Kamara or Breece Hall? I'd trade Ridley for Kamara. I wouldn't do it for Breece Hall, but frankly, I think I'd rather keep Ridley. Kamara is the only one I would give him up for out of the players you mentioned. Austin Monreal. Trade Mahomes for Kupp. I have Cousins, Keenan Allen, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. To be honest, no, because I don't trust Cousins as much as you do. I'd rather keep Mahomes. Roger. Should I trade Mostert for Thielen and Warren? No, I'd rather have Mostert. Elias, pick 3, Michael Wilson, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Gibbs, and Sanders. Well, Gibbs is banged up, but if he's healthy enough to go, I'd start him. I'd start Jamison Williams as well, and I'd probably start Michael Wilson. So it's Wilson, Williams, and Gibbs. If Gibbs can't go, Miles Sanders, they're playing in the same game. So if he can't go, you'll know, and you'll be able to swap in Miles Sanders. Ant Can, I'm going to lean slightly, just barely, towards the Dolphins defense. I like the Lions defense, but I'll trust the Dolphins just a little bit more. Thanks so much for the question. Did you say you have Waddle doing better than Adams? So here's the question. I think so only because I'm worried about Adams' health. To the comment by Lethal Jake, Adams showed up on the injury report, so I'm a little bit worried there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, or on TikTok, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. We are live every single day. By the way, if you want all of my bets every day, every bet that I make, player prop bet, total play, game pick, for baseball, NFL, college football, I was doing college football picks earlier, DM me on Instagram. I give out all of my picks for free. You don't need to pay a dime. Doesn't cost you anything. DM me on Instagram, everybody. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram, and I will share all of my picks with you for this weekend. Every pick that I make is free and available to you guys thanks to SHARPZ. Pick 3, Waddle, Kirk, Puka, Kyron, or James Cook. Luka Vibes 4. Luka Vibes 4. I'd go Waddle, Kirk, and Puka. Waddle, Kirk, and Puka. Those would be the three. Thanks for the question. Kyle, I've been trying to get advice for nearly 30 minutes. I think he don't respond unless you donate. Kyle, I usually focus on those who contribute to the show. I try to get to as many people as possible. A lot of people asking questions. I do the best I can. Sorry, Kyle, that I've missed your question so far. Colin Anderson, Christian Watson, and Swift for Ridley, Cooper, and Pacheco. Who wins the trade? I'd rather have Ridley, Cooper, and Pacheco. So Colin Anderson, I'd rather have Ridley, Cooper, and Pacheco. So Sore X, I'd go James Conner this week. So Sore X, I'd go James Conner over Nico Collins this week. Is Etienne and Puka a good offer for Tyreek? I don't think you're going to get him for only those two players. I don't think so. If St. Brown is out, I'd go DeAndre Hopkins. Ram, if St. Brown is out, I'd go with DeAndre Hopkins out of the group of players you mentioned. Sarah, great question. I'm going to lean slightly towards the Eagles defense. Just barely. It's very close, though. Luis, should I trade Kupp, Williams, and Puka for St. Brown and Eckler? Yes, I would. Luis, yes, I would. Vaughn, Rashee Rice, or Josh Downs? This week, Vaughn, I'd go Rashee Rice. Vaughn, I'd go with Rashee Rice. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you haven't done so already, hit that follow button. If you're new to the show, new to the content or conversation, I am live every day. Make sure you hit that follow button. That way you never miss our show. That way you can always ask your questions and get the advice you need. Woo! Friday night fun, man. I cannot wait for this weekend. Kyle, pick two. Kyle's asking me to pick two. Kyle, I go Zay Flowers and Chris Olave. Flowers and Olave, Kyle. Thanks for the question. Jacob, RR22. I'd go Devontae Smith. Jacob, RR22. I'd rather have Devontae Smith. Jimmy, thanks for hitting that follow button. Owen O'Donohue. I'd go with Ertz. Owen O'Donohue. I'd go with Ertz just barely. Thanks, guys, for helping me get up to my live goal. Appreciate you guys supporting the show the way you do. Ethan Ramey. I like Kenneth Walker III the rest of the season. I think he's going to be a pretty good RB2 play. Don't know if he's going to get you the value of an RB1, maybe some weeks, but I think he's going to be a pretty solid play, so I'm certainly not complaining if you have him on your team. Do you think Barkley's going to play? I think he will. Luka Vibes, I think he will, but I still got to keep track of what the insiders are saying. So Sorex, Eagles defense, Texans defense. I think I'd rather go with the Texans defense, maybe just barely. Eagles defense does have a tough matchup. Luis, McCaffrey and Purdy for Mahomes, Devontae and Swift. That I do. Luis, that's a trade I would do. Yep. Kareem, I have Kupp, Devontae, Pittman, and Flowers. Which three should I start? Kareem, I'd go with Kupp, Pittman, and Flowers. Kareem, I'd go Kupp, Pittman, and Flowers. Those would be the three. Tough question, though. Q-U-E, Pasa. I'd go with Dameon Pierce over Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs' injury has me a little concerned, so I go Dameon Pierce over Gibbs. Q-U-E, I'd go Pierce over Gibbs. Thanks so much for the question. Josh, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry. Don't love it, but I'll go Hunter Henry. I'm just a little worried. Luis Bruno. I don't think you're going to get... I like the trade. Luis Bruno, if you can do it. I'd rather have Hill, but it's very close. It's a tough deal to try to pull off. Appreciate all those who are watching. Brent, running back, pick two. I'd go Jones and Pacheco. Brent, I'd go Jones and Pacheco. Final few minutes of the show, everybody. Final few minutes of the show. We will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, everybody. 10 a.m. Eastern for our College Football Saturday pregame show. If you have not done so already, hit the follow button. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. That way you do not miss our show on Saturday, Sunday, every freaking day. Because there's not one day of 2023 that we're not live. Jose's letting you know. And we're going to drop some cash-making picks for you guys tomorrow. So if you guys want to join us for our college football show, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe because we are live every single day. Now, forgive me, I told myself when we got a money gun or we got a gift of that kind, I was going to rant for a minute. How did Major League Baseball lose out on the opportunity to put a playoff game or two on Friday? There's no NFL. There's no big college football game. But instead, they're going up against college football, the Red River rivalry with playoff baseball tomorrow. I think Major League Baseball missed a major opportunity to cash in on all the eyeballs that would have been all about baseball for all of Friday. Major mistake by Rob Manfred. Major mistake. I know that they expected some of those wild card series to not all be sweeps, but guess what? You missed out on an opportunity to own a Friday in October. What a wasted opportunity for Major League Baseball. Emmett, I'd go Josh Jacobs. Emmett, I'd go Josh Jacobs over Kyron Williams. Bilbo Swaggins, I'd go Michael Thomas, believe it or not. Michael Thomas. Bryce Katz 8. I'd go Mostert. Aiden, I'd go Mostert over Sanders. Jacob RR. Thanks so much, Retro Dad. Thanks so much for the helmet, man. I appreciate it every time. Jacob RR22. I'd rather have Jones and Swift. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. It is so wonderful to know we have such a loyal, dedicated, fantastic community of sports fans joining us every day. Jose wants Manfred fired. I don't think that's happening. He's making the owners a lot of money now. League is getting more money than ever before. Satisfying videos. I'd go with Puka. Satisfying videos. Believe it or not, I'd go Puka. Brendan Miller. Should I trade Wilson for Jonathan Taylor? Yes. Brendan Miller won't be good this week. Future weeks, there'll be value there. George, Collins or Achan in a PPR? George, you got to go Achan this week. Achan has more value than Collins this week. Bennett, I just traded Stevenson, James Conner for Saquon. Did I win the trade? No, you didn't. Sorry, Bennett. I don't think you did. Maddie, I'm going with Mostert over Achan. I know I might be on the wrong on this, but I think Mostert ends up getting more snaps between what he does in the running and in the pass game. I'd go Mostert over Achan. It is a coin flip, though. Who knows what Mike McDaniel's thinking. Brian, Reynolds or Gus Edwards for the flex? Brian, I'd go Gus Edwards. Thanks for the question, Brian. I like burgers. I'd go Waddle and Achan. I like burgers. I like all three, but I'd go Waddle and Achan. If you guys have had your question answered, if you love the content, the conversation, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're a follower of this amazing community. We are live every single day. There will not be one day of 2023 that we're not live, so make sure you hit that follow button right now. Anthony Bells, I'd go D-Hop. Over Dell. Dilly the Kid, I'd go Olave over Ayuk. Jamie M's. Man, Kyle Pitts should be the play. But he's the most disappointing player in fantasy. So I'll say Hunter Henry, because screw Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts should be the play, Jamie, but I can't trust that dude at all. Michael Lake 4, I'd go Joe Mixon. Thanks so much, Michael. Thanks for being with us. Ramses, trading Cousins for Sutton. I have Hurts. That's fine if you already have a locked-in quarterback. Crypto Gambino, hope you're having a great day. I'm not so big on the crypto. I have friends that do that, but I care more about the money that my Treasury Department acknowledges a little bit more. By the way, not hating on crypto, not taking on the crypto bros. Jeffrey, I'd go Joe Burrow this week. Joe Peck, I'd go Joe Burrow this week. Sam, pick each running back, wide receiver in the flex. Sam's clearly getting the value out of his question. Sam, I'd go with Montgomery. It's tough because I love a bunch of these players. I'd go Montgomery and I'd go Aaron Jones. Those would be my two players. It's tough not to have Achan in there too, though. Jeez. I'd go Montgomery and Achan, maybe. I love all three running backs you have. They're literally three of my favorite running backs. Montgomery, Achan, and Jones. Of the wide receivers, though, Sam, I'd go Pittman. Out of the wide receivers you have, Pittman's my favorite one. But I love your running backs. I literally, pull them out of a hat, they're all winners. Like, you're a winner, and you're a winner, and you're a winner. It is the Oprah Winfrey show of running backs there. I love all your running backs this week. Pittman would be the wide receiver, though. Braylon Evans, Waller, and DK for Hawkinson. Hawkinson hasn't been as valuable the last few weeks as we would like. I think I'd rather still have Waller and DK. Shaheed or T. Higgins. I don't know if T. Higgins is going to play with his injury, so Shaheed automatically is the play. LeBrant, trade Gibbs and Flowers for Etienne? No, I would not do that deal. Hunter Henry or Waller? Anthony Bell's Waller should be the better play. Kind of like Kyle Pitts. Hunter Henry's safer. Waller should have more upside. Joey Stromboli. I'd go Mostert and Achane. I'd start both Dolphins running backs, Mostert and Achane. Brady Schreiber. I'd go Achane. Brady Schreiber. I'd go Achane over Ayuk. If I've answered your question, or if you love the content, the conversation, and the channel, make sure you hit that follow button, everybody. Make sure you hit that follow button. Arias, I'd go Saquon. If Saquon's healthy, Arias, I'd go with Saquon. Lethal Jake, yeah, unfortunately, but I think Rashee Rice is probably the better play. Appreciate all of those who have hit that follow button, all of those who are members of the Butt Fumble Sports community. We are live every single day. There will not be one day of 2023 that we're not live. So if I haven't answered your question, don't sweat it. I am live every single day. I will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Saturday morning. I will be live answering fantasy football questions, sports betting questions, including college football questions. So, if you haven't done so, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, or on TikTok, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're a member of this community. We're live every day. That's a promise. We're live every single day. I'm going to go hop off right now, eat some dinner, hang out with some friends. I'll probably do a show later tonight. So if you guys join, you'll obviously know when I'm live later tonight. You won't miss it. But I'm probably going to do a show later tonight. But for sure, 100%, we are live at 10 a.m. tomorrow, everybody. So either watch tonight or watch tomorrow. But either way, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss our show every day. Again, if you want all of my sports bets every single day, you can DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram, because we're sponsored by the SHARPZ app. I give out all of my bets for free every day thanks to SHARPZ. So if you want all of my bets every day, make sure you guys DM me, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. Duffel Bag, I don't think tonight will be a subscriber-only show. I think we'll do a show tonight for everybody. So everybody could join tonight, whether you're a subscriber or not. So make sure you hit the follow button. That way you know when we're live tonight. It is so wonderful being able to talk sports with you guys. It is so much fun every single day. That's why I love this company. That's why I love Butt Fumble Sports. It is a blast. I will see you guys later tonight, and I will see you guys at 10 a.m. Saturday. 10 a.m. Saturday to talk some college football, fantasy football, sports betting, and everything else. Connor Healy, thanks so much for subscribing. All of those that are watching out there on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thanks for being with us every single day. I cannot wait to be with you guys later tonight. I will see you guys later tonight and at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Until then, goodbye, everybody.